Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jester. My name is Junior. Today let's take a look at Star Wars 3.75, the Vintage Collection. This is a special action figure set. This is basically the representation of the same character but along the different parts of his journey. So this is the journey of Anakin Skywalker as he turns from Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader and then finally into Darth Vader as he's ending his uh, journey into Darth Vader, because we have the cut hand and the translucent head. So in this Darth Vader version, he doesn't even have the armor as yet. Now, I'm gonna look really quickly on this packaging. This, I think this was $50. I'm not gonna confirm. I'm pretty sure it's around $50. Here's the front and here's the back. You have Anakin Skywalker. As you can see, they're already calling him Darth Vader over here. And this is Darth Vader redeemed. Or technically, he should be Anakin Skywalker again at this point, but I think he should still be called Darth Vader in this one because he's just coming out of being Darth Vader, but he's not really Anakin Skywalker yet completely. So I guess Darth Vader Redeemed would be a good name for it. And it has like I can only read the first part of this blurb because that's the only one in English. Everything else is done in different languages. So everything in the packaging, as you can see, it's basically there. It's shown all the way. There's no surprises or anything, so that's good. All right, so I'm just gonna, that's basically the packaging for this one, but I do want to compare something, and it didn't really occur to me, the differences between the three. It's the same price, basically the same format. It's 3.75. This is the Heir to the Empire set figure. It's exactly the same price, right? And this one though, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, if you look behind the packaging, it's actually got its own card back, which I don't care about keeping things in box and everything, but, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna keep this. I do cut it and I put it in the box. As you can see, this one's kind of bent for Yord Fandar, and I don't mind that it's bent, but having that option of the card back, I feel is much better than just having it as this is. They're the same price. I don't understand why they can't do it all like this. So having said that, I would ding this whole set just for that, because I feel like the other one is a far superior packaging type than this one. So let me go ahead and unbox it, and we'll just do a review of all three because they're basically the same figure anyway. All right, so we're back. All right, so let's see. We'll start off with the Darth Vader one because I have 3 of these Vaders already. I believe 2 of them are for this particular figure with its articulation and everything. So out of all 3, this is the one that I was like, do I really need another Vader, or do I need another version of this one? And the fact that they made this translucent, this helmet, and you can really see, well, let's do a close-up. This helmet actually does contain a freaking skull inside it. It does. You can kind of see it. The only disappointment is that skull inside it is way too big for the helmet that's in here. It really is. It should be at least maybe 25% smaller, but it's nice to see it there. I think it's just too big for what it is. You know, I know you can't see it, and I don't think you can tear it apart or separate it, but it's nice that it's there. So it's nice to have this in a way. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but oh, also the reason why I got this particular set is that I now have the full representation of Anakin Skywalker in 3.75 version. I have him as being taken from Tatooine when he was a boy, and then I have him as a Padawan. I had him as an older Padawan, and now we finally have him in Jedi Knight form, and then to Darth Vader form, unarmored, and then the final version of Darth Vader redeemed. So I finally have all transitions of Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. That's why I wanted to get the set. It didn't really matter to me that I have these figures already, and the price is $50. I just wanted it and be done with it. So that's it for Darth Vader. He does come with a cut off hand over here, and we'll do a quick look at this saber. We've seen this all before. There's really no reason to highlight it or anything like that. But so there he is. There's Anakin Skywalker, or Darth Vader, as he has turned into the dark side. His eyes are golden, as you can see. He does have the scar on his right eye, darkened eye orbs, orbital eyes, and everything. So he's definitely there, and evil and everything. So just like any 3.75, very minimalistic painting on the, or weathering on the garment in itself. But we do see some on the belt, some here in the gauntlet. The lower half of this one is fabric. I think I really do prefer the fabric on the lower part. Yes, it doesn't have the same detail and everything, but for sure it's not going to hamper the articulation. Everything else is basically the same. So yeah, it's kind of, you can see, okay, well, fabric, nicely sculpted figure, and then all of a sudden fabric. It doesn't match. So it's gonna be up to you to decide, what do you want, articulation or accuracy, I guess. I'm flip-flopping because I'm just changing my mind as it is right now. As for accessories, I've already said that he has the lightsaber unlit and lit one. This is inaccurate because technically that should still be a blue lightsaber. But which version of Darth Vader is this? Is this the one from Ahsoka series where they're meeting in that strange void area and he was wielding a red lightsaber using this clothing? Or, you know, if it's the one from the Mustafa fight with Kenobi, then the lightsaber is indeed inaccurate. But what's interesting about this one, as we've just been seeing the reveal of the Kenobi versus Darth Vader and Mustafa, it does have this hand. And why is this hand here? Because technically, if we replace this one with this one, the only time we're ever going to use this is when he fights Kenobi, right? In that force push against each other. So I'm tempted with the Black Series to get that particular set. It depends on the price. I bet you it's going to be like $75 to $90 or $95, their justification and everything. I can't do that. Because it does come with two different headsets, so it's going to be expensive, guys, so expect that. But I'm actually quite happy that they included this in this set. I don't know if they included this in the standalone figure that I did cancel, so I'm glad if this is only available here, that I'm glad that I purchased this set, because now I'm just waiting for Kenobi that has the similar opposite hand of this one. But yeah, I do like this figure, and we're gonna talk about this face more as we review the other last one. So here's the last head for Skywalker. He is still a Jedi Knight, a Jedi Master in this one. I would suspect that this is the version of Anakin Skywalker that we saw in the Ahsoka series. The armor seems indicative of it. Again, it's using fabric on the lower half of the uniform and everything. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to talk about almost immediately the moment I saw this. These are two different head sculpts, as you can see. I believe this is a redo, a reissue head sculpt, this figure over here. But honestly, I much prefer this one than that. Now, if this one is indicative of the Anakin Skywalker from the Ahsoka series, which he is portrayed by a much older Christian. Hey, what's his name? Haydenson. That's why he doesn't quite look like the Anakin Skywalker we know, because he's much older there. I really do prefer this one. You know, the hair looks good on this one, a little bit more puffier, but the face, I think the face is much more captured here because it's much leaner. This one's more rounded. I don't know, man. I really do prefer this one. Has a lot more meanness to it, but I guess the cool thing about them having two separate head sculpts is it's portraying the same character, but in different stages in life, so it makes sense that he would have different distinct features on his face as his journey changes. Is this from the Ahsoka series, or is this technically from the Clone Wars if Christian Haydenson, I can't remember his name, actually portrayed him in that time, at that age, in a younger age, wherein he's a lot more confident, he's a lot more of a Jedi, and he's not as conflicted as he later becomes during episodes 1 through 3, right? So, okay, so I'm kind of justifying it in my mind. So, okay, so I'm kind of okay with that, I guess. That's me on video flip-flopping and everything. So now let's go back to this guy over here. So very nice. I guess the cloak is basically just glued in. No, it's not glued in. It's got some sort of strap over here that loops into the shoulder. So if you really want to, remove this cape, you can. You just need to unstrap it, I suppose, from the shoulder, like so, which I will do right now. Okay, now we get to study more of this figure and the detail that's in this one and everything. So somebody on one of the Facebook posts was saying, like, this is the first time he's ever noticed and indicated that the similarities in terms of the chest armor between Vader and Anakin is actually like, whoa, so that's where it came from. And it's like, it never really occurred to me. He's right. This is exactly like almost what Vader wore. It's the same exact armor, shoulder armor, and even the vest over here, it really carries over from his days as a Jedi Knight, except of course the color is different, the motif is different, but yeah. So he is basically carrying over the armor that he knew as a Jedi Master during the Clone Wars to his Darth Vader look. But yeah, definitely liking it. New representation of Anakin that I don't have is this one over here, and everything. So there he is. And here's this guy. I'm pretty sure this is just a repaint, but I'm glad to have him on my collection as well. So let me zoom out really quickly. And we get to look at the articulation. Now this is basic. I think this, since I think this is just a redo, is this part? Yes, I think so. Look, it's got the part of the barbell on the hip to joint. So it's got the modern articulation. So sampling one will basically be sampling all, right? So except for the head, maybe. The head, no up and down because of the cut of the hair. Nothing side to side. Left to right is good. I really do like that happy expression on Anakin Skywalker here. Look, nice. The way they sculpted and designed this shoulder plate over here goes in so it doesn't hamper the shoulders going in and out. You get a nice T-pose over here, all around on the shoulders, and an over 90 bend on the elbow, and of course the elbow has a swivel. For the waist articulation, it's so minimal. It's kind of like the one it was with Kenobi. It's there, but like, is it really there? I don't know. And now because of the fabric cloth over here, when he kicks up, he's able to maintain it, right? And then of course the thigh cut over here, you can twist it from side to side. You got the knee bend over here for 90 and the knee rotation over there. And of course the up and down on the ankle, and of course the ankle rock. So judgment time on the use of fabric on the lower to retain the full articulation of the leg compared to the cloth one. So we can see a huge difference between the two, right? A huge difference. The question is, how much do we really use the articulation that becomes limited with the use of sculpted rubber plastic for the lower half compared to the fabric? So we're losing about half of the articulation range once we go rubber. But how much do we really use that compared to just standing on the shelf in a neutral pose, right? Because if it's just standing on a neutral pose, this looks so much better than this one. If you're going to pose it, of course, this is going to pose better. But you know what? I think I do like the more sculpted fabric, because generally my figures can't really be displayed as pose, so they're just standing. So I really want at this point, I want them to look good as possible. And this is definitely just showing, oh, it's fabric, you know, and I can't get away with it. I can't just remove the robe like I can with this one and maintain the integrity of the sculpt. This is part of it, so there's no getting out of it, or you know. So yes, I would prefer the sculpted rather than the fabric. There you go. You see me flopping right there on camera. So okay. Let's see. Value wise, obviously, I wanted the set. I paid $50 for it. I got exactly what I wanted. I think the biggest surprise is the force push hand for the unarmored Darth Vader, in anticipation of what might come or what might be possible once we get the Obi-Wan Kenobi with the opposing force push hand. So I like that as an extra surprise. There's really no surprise on the Darth Vader. It was nice to see the skull, but the skull is oversized. I really do like this one. Initially I didn't like the face on this one, but I like how it I like the fact that there's progression in his face as he's portrayed in his timeline as well. So that's good as well. And I don't have him represented in this armor in live action. I have him in animated version using that. So base price of $10 equaling to $50. Value I would put at 11, not 12. And maybe you can get away with not buying this and just sticking with what you have, but it really is nice to see his progression over here. And I'm sorry, I cannot just pull out the little Anakin when he was from Tatooine to the Padawan to the younger or more adult Padawan, but my desk is a mess right now, and in order to do so I would have to move this review table. So the value on this one I would put at 11, slightly above 10, because there are surprises that I found while doing the review. There's an up notch in terms of how I appreciated the changes that they used on the sculpt on the head. It makes sense. I appreciate that. So they persuaded me to their argument of why they used different heads. So I like that very much. So I'll give him 11, maybe even bordering around 12, mostly because of the use of the two different head sculpts in this one, as portraying Anakin Skywalker in his different stages of his life journey. So yeah, I'll give him a 12 for that one. So that's it for my review of the set from the journey of Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader to being redeemed. A very nice value. Oh, I'll give them 11 because I do want to ding them for not having the card back comparably to the Heir to the Throne Empire set that has Thrawn and Captain Plays and the that Jedi over there. So I'll give them that ding to a value of 11. That's it for my review of this set from Star Wars 3.75, the Vintage Collection. It finally finishes Anakin Skywalker in 3.75 format. Thank you, and I'll see you guys again on my next review. Bye.